Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your magical moon message. This is the Peace Dealer reporting live from Tampa. I'm here for just a day. I came to celebrate the life of my great late friend with her children and some people, or at least one person I haven't seen in years. So looking forward to it. Moon in Leo, Sun in Aquarius. I like how certain energetic dynamics play out. I'm currently getting picked up by my friend whose sun is in Leo and the moon is in Leo. You always want to pay attention to that when the moon is in a sign and circumstances play out to where the energy of that sign plays out through the moon. Stuff like that is never a coincidence. Even if you yourself are, for example, a Leo watching this, or Leo Sun, Moon, Rising, just keep that in mind. This full moon has the potential to be very glorious. The absence of Sagittarius magic in the transits right now free up your ability to see whatever vision or direct the vision that evokes from this either way. We don't have Virgo, but we do have Gemini and Pisces. So your intellectual thought process is being assertively challenged by how beautifully you can polish your imagination around how you think. Venus, in other words, will be constantly pushing Mars to dream bigger and not be limited by logic or limited logic, and Mars is going to help Venus understand the logical foundation so that she can imagine more in line with what the fuck is true. That being said, rules of manifestation and the supernatural properties of your energy don't necessarily are not bound by logic, but we get to play with these concepts for optimal benefit. Regardless, this is the harvesting of the energetic, systematic activation you kicked off 2 weeks ago and spent 2 years building. So the past 2 weeks was a loading screen that charged the seeds you planted 2 weeks ago. And now, with this 180-degree full moon completion that we're coming into over the next 12 to 24 hours, this is going to complete the loading screen, enabling you to actually functionally harvest this energy. So that by the time the moon is in Virgo, you're understanding the real detailed analysis around how you are actually harnessing the utilization of this energy before you show it to other people socially, and then come into the completion phase with the moon in Scorpio, where you've intensified the nature of this energy you've charged so that you can now see the results of everything you could prepare to do with this, especially by the time the moon is in Capricorn, transcending this energetic capability to harness your natural cosmic latent energy outside of just the autonervous functions of your body. If you think that life force is flowing through you right now, so if you didn't, you wouldn't be alive watching me right now. So it's not really a matter of turning it on or harnessing it as much as harnessing it more effectively and being able to use excess energy outside of just the natural functions of your body. Something you've been doing subconsciously, but you're now breaking through more of the ability to do at will. Of course, other people who've sustained this ability through practices, whether through Qigong, Nei Qigong, Tai Chi, or whatever it is you do, this will supplement this with a literal boost of energy so that if you think this 2 year process with Saturn took your energy center and constructed something a lot more extraordinary aligned with who you have evolved to. What's good, man? So if you look at this plug right here, you see there's this charging port connected to my phone, and the moon in Leo is drawing from this source of energy to express Sun in Aquarius electricity. So you will feel that, especially square Uranus and Taurus, which you can literally see as a grounding port. We need the grounding so that it can actually sustain the electricity. Otherwise, the energy would flow, but it's not applying physically towards any appliance. All right. This is very exciting for many reasons. Saturn entering Aquarius began the construction process of reworking entirely your energy system. Relative to 30 years ago, successive cycles and awakenings, let's just say your energy center was a pool that, of course, got demolished by Pluto so that you could, through Jupiter going through Aquarius, expand the capacity of energy that you can harness. Relative to your consciousness expanding and evolving, now you're building around properties of your energy system to account for how much you've grown so that you can harness more relative to you having a greater or bigger container. And this all taps into Scorpio, the latent energy you're not using because it's sealed, because your body has decided you don't. Like, science has kind of spoken on how their energy, I won't say energy centers, but at least physically, they're elements of your body that obviously, in order to protect and not have you use more energy than you need, it seals this away. It literally limits the output. If you think about Naruto and the opening of the 8 gates, this is that concept here that is actually related to real life. What if you now had the opportunity to harness this latent, dormant potential that has been stored within the core of your soul? It's nothing you haven't done before, but the capacity at which you're doing now relative to an entire Jupiter cycle we have completed not only expands your ability to do this, but your sense of who you are in doing this, as you're drawing from this royal sense of your energy so that you can convert it to sustain magical functions programmed by your mind. So all of this is preparing you for Pisces season now that your energy is completing the loading, so that you're in a position to now express and experience the full nature of the quality of your energy through this divine experience in Pisces that will prepare you to change accordingly and then move forward with this completion in Aries as the new version of you before we evolve April and then do it all over again, but this time revolution mode. So this golden extraordinary completion is worth the hype, just with the Jupiter trine alone, that once again, if we use the Mario Kart theme, is a turbo booster. And it doesn't hurt that the moon is on Lilith too, which will help you tap into a more erotic, raw expression of your sexuality that you can use to fuel more into whatever intentions you're making. So whatever intentions you've put in since the past 2 weeks that integrated with the moon in Taurus, they're harvesting now, from now till Scorpio. And the intensity of this energy will evoke insecurity from others who need to feel better than you or other people to feel good about themselves because they're weak little bitches. Now, regarding that, this is going to now, just by the quality of your own strength and confidence in yourself, attract flies to your light. And you must maintain this strength of confidence opposite Aquarius, the collective, in the face of narratives, both true and false, that relative to your ability to maintain your values and stand on something will legitimately strengthen your core, versus others who will give in to peer pressure because they're not really authentic as much as they're fake AF, and pliably lean back and towards whatever is popular at the time because God forbid they have to stand up to more people or a group of people who don't necessarily approve of who they are or what they're doing. These are called people with external locuses of control versus internal locuses of control, whose power is primarily stored within. And so the actions and opinions of others do not at all influence what these people operate in. I'm not going to tell you which locus of control you have, but if you have an external locus of control, be very careful, because just the outside influences with the Uranus square and the Saturn opposition alone will not give you an accurate portrayal of how to make sense of your development if you take into account other people's opinions from the outside looking in. Energetic discipline and development is something only you can do, and not something you can look up on Google. You have to go within to harness this, but that's what you did the first 2 years. So now the next 2 weeks are going to express this out. Okay. And you really just want to focus on how confidently you can feel about everything you know you are. Pretend you're about to go on stage and perform this to the three judges, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto. Neptune and Pluto on each side of Saturn in Pisces, and of course Capricorn respectively. So this full moon is just for the purpose of completing the charge, and then we will now transform the understanding of how our behavior is changed once this moon goes into Virgo, and that's where it starts to get more real. From moon in Virgo to moon in Capricorn, it's the driver towards taking this completion of energy and now literally integrating it through this breakthrough process, which is going to be the breakthrough from full moon to moon in Scorpio. It's wow, the level of energy I'm harnessing is much more pronounced than normal, and now you have to figure out what you're going to do with this energy now that you've kind of connected everything. Another important facet of this, however, though, especially with the Uranus square, that will kind of challenge you to maintain authenticity to your unique self instead of try and fit in, the quality of now the nature of your energy, because the full moon will really help you understand the maximum amount of energy you can pull from. Some of you may be in a position where you're able to draw from this for a while until you need to recharge, right? Get some rest. Some of you may be able to draw from this limitlessly. Some of you may be able to connect with other people in relationships to extend the way the quality of your energy works with others, because now this will move by moon in Libra into compatibility dynamics and what your energy connects with other people who, by fate, you're kind of meant to connect with. And it's important because connections you make during this period will not necessarily seem as significant as they are. You very well could, around last week, this week, be connecting with people who will realistically be in your life for life, And so it's definitely very extraordinary, the concept of Aquarius with friendships and the square to the nodes. This is a turning point that, while you may not see it now, is completely shifting the direction of your life relative to the vibration and frequency within you that vibrates at your most authentic self, which with Lilith is going to be spicy, is going to be taboo, and better be, because you want it to be authentic. You don't want to be these fake people out here who are afraid to share their original ideas. I mean, you don't want to be these people who just say whatever just because they're being honest too, but one of them doesn't run around hiding, worried about what other people will think. So regardless, I hope you enjoy this transit. The initial trine to Jupiter will fill you up with so much courage, expansion, and raw excitement that you want to just tap into that. Focus on the inner world. Do not give in to the external 3D, as that's what you'll be tested on. And for those of you who pass this test, get ready, because this is where things are going to completely spiral out of control in the best of ways, at least before the beginning of the end of the world cycle kicks in March, with that 0-degree Saturn and Pisces. If you're ready to come into a more radical and unconventional understanding of harnessing your energy and the nature of it, continue to just stay firm relative to what you have been focusing on and everything you are, because now it's time to really experience this in a social way that integrates and breaks you through accordingly. and prepares you for the full-on experience later on in February. Godspeed.